Hello, I'm Danny Feola, and the community issue that I selected, or shall I say my students selected, was cancer. A couple of the kids that I interviewed, they were dealing with the hardships of a loved one going through cancer. Um, the one student, Seth, his little brother Gage, is currently going through chemotherapy right now. So I decided to go with cancer. On the first day of the unit, I'm going to let the kids know what cancer is, the science behind it. We're going to go through a PowerPoint, what cancer is. After the PowerPoint, kids will be given guided practice. We'll do an activity web, and then we'll do the You Are the Teacher activity, where the students will be given information cards about different types of incurable diseases, and then they'll put them into groups and they'll rotate around the classroom teaching each other on the different diseases. For assessment, I'll have the kids do a checkout card. I'll just ask them 5 questions regarding the PowerPoint, and on their way out they'll hand them in, and I won't grade this or anything. It'll just be me getting an understanding on what the kids have learned. On day 2, I'm going to relate the cancer to history. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint, another direct instruction on cancer and history. The early diagnosis of cancer, when it became known, its origins, or its name's origins, how it's dealt with in the modern era, and some pretty big historical figures who have gone through the hardships of cancer, and then link it to other incurable diseases like the Black Plague, HIV, diabetes, and asthma. After the PowerPoint, the kids will watch a video clip on FDR, President FDR, on his disability, and we'll actually lead a class discussion on if the students think FDR would be elected today, with the use of television and everything, and that the public would really know that the president was disabled. For their independent practice, the kids will be given a homework assignment. They'll have to find a famous person who had cancer and write a 1-page summary on that famous person's experience. On the third day, we'll talk about the taboo of cancer and how it's kind of a very difficult thing to talk about in public. And we'll go through the PowerPoint. After we do the PowerPoint, kids will break into groups and they'll actually brainstorm on other taboo subjects. They'll pick one and they'll compare and contrast it with the taboo of cancer, and then they'll share with the class. And then for their independent practice, I'll give them a challenge to go home and try and find song lyrics dealing with cancer. On day 4, we'll watch a video on Kid, and we'll discuss the great act, but we'll also talk about why it can be perceived as negative. And then I'll hand out 3 different articles on cancer survivors. The kids will read them, discuss them, and share their stories and what they think. And for their independent practice, their homework assignment, they'll write a 1-page opinion piece regarding the extravagance of Kid. On day 5, we'll be talking about how we can help this and address this community issue of cancer. And what would happen is I would explain to them that it's larger than individuals, and together as a group we'll develop a plan for our state, so California, to address cancer. And we'll use this using personal whiteboards, breaking up into three columns: prevent, detect, and treat. And we'll discuss this as a class. It'll be a nice forum for the kids to really discuss their ideas on how the state could address this issue. And then for their independent practice, for their big project, you know, organizing change, it's not just limited to the government. And, I'll make sure to tell the students that every individual, every one of them can make a difference. And so each person will be assigned to organize a plan to fight cancer. Um, and I will give them a handout on what exactly they need to do. So this will be their handout given to them and what they need to do. And so hopefully by addressing this issue in the classroom, these kids will be a lot more comfortable with the topic of cancer, and hopefully get them out there to try and make a difference.